Hi, my name is Todd Lofton. I'm the State Director of Special Education Services for Oklahoma. And we're here today with a lot of guests to talk about special education and specifically parent communication. Our schools and parents have been working diligently to continue to provide a meaningful and appropriate education for our students with disabilities during this time. And so our guests are going to share with us some of their thoughts on meaningful communication and participation. And we have Ellen Kimbrell here from the Oklahoma Parents Center. She's going to be help guiding our conversation today.
Well, thank you so much, Todd. So I'm going to just start right off with the first question, which is if the families could share with us, how were you contacted by the school about distance learning?
Hi, my name is Melissa Stevens, and I am with the Durant Public School District. I have a child who is 8 who receives special education services. So I was first contacted by phone, personal phone call from my child's regular education teacher, and then I was contacted by phone from the special education teacher, and then a mass call out from the superintendent.
Wonderful. Laurie?
Well, I'm Laurie Whicker, and I have 2 children that both attend Stillwater High School. And our initial contact was through Facebook and emails from our superintendent and then from our high school principal. We were then contacted by text, phone call, and email, but through the special ed teachers and general ed teachers.
Wonderful. Okay. And Emily?
I'm Emily Topher. I'm from Piedmont, Oklahoma. I have a son that's in special education in 7th grade, and I have a son that's in elementary. I was first contacted by email and then personally emailed by his special education case manager, and also sent a text message, and communication has been pretty much daily.
Wonderful. Okay. Well, our next question is, how has your school helped you to understand what will take place for your child during distance learning? Melissa, will go ahead.
Okay. So during the one-on-one call I had with my child's regular education teacher, it was then discussed what that would be, how the delivery would be, how the communication would be going forward. And with the related services providers, I was also given a personal phone call as well. And then that was also communicated of how the delivery would be. And then also that I'm able to contact them at any time. So all 3, I had personal cell numbers for me to contact them if there's any guidance I'm needing or any information I'm needing. So I'm able to contact them at any time.
Okay. We'll go in reverse this time. Emily, how are you?
So go ahead, and you can repeat the question if you want.
No, it's all right. Go ahead.
Okay. So I was also given a personal cell phone number to his case manager, who has reached out to me numerous times. She also checks his work in Google Classroom, and if anything needs to be corrected, she gives me feedback on what he needs to do to understand, and also has allowed personal Zoom meetings with her with any criteria and anything that he's not understanding. She can work with him one-on-one. So
wonderful. And Laurie?
With my children, my son is a senior, and so things are a little different with him. He has already completed all of his core work because Stillwater's on a block schedule. So what he had the option to do was to select whether he wanted to continue any classes that he was enrolled in, or if he just wanted to call it done and graduate. And so we helped him to decide that there were a couple classes that would be good for him to continue in. And so those teachers have set up Google Classrooms and have been in contact through Google Classroom with the assignments that way. My daughter, who's a sophomore, her teachers, the special ed teachers, have set up Google Classrooms as well, and they're just providing the assignments through Google Classroom.
So the next question is, and Emily, we'll start with you this time.
Okay.
What are some key things that you would like teachers to remember during this time for you and your family?
Well, that a lot of us parents are still working, and we're just working from home, and our job has expectations on us just like we were in the office. So our children are going to definitely need services still, because as a parent, you can't always be right there during their Zoom meeting or whatever to see what was assigned. So they're just going to have to continue the lines of communication if there's something missing, or if there's a concept they're not understanding, to reach out to the parent. But that we're all still, most of us are still working too. And so we can't just teach them for a full day.
So, Laurie?
I think it's important that the teachers remember that not everyone is as savvy technologically for assignments that are electronic. I understand Google Classroom. I'm good at using Google Classroom. I can help my children with their Google Classroom. But it's important that the teachers remember to be really explicit in their directions on their expectations, and to reach out to facilitate those assignments, and just make sure that instructions are as clear as they can be. And just like what Emily said, that many parents are still working from home, and they are not going to be able to allow or to dedicate 4 hours of schoolwork time during the day. That may end up happening in the evenings rather than during the daytime. And so that may be when students need assistance from their teachers, is after the typical school day.
Yeah, very true. Melissa?
So I agree with both other parents. I would like to elaborate on that as well, that a lot of parents have the expectation that they're required to deliver the same type of services that their child was receiving in school. And we need to be mindful that a child on an IEP has 4 or 5 different people giving instruction, including related services, special education teacher, any other additional teachers that are helping. And so parents need to know that they're not expected to wear all those different hats to deliver that same type of learning environment for their child, and that they can do what they can do and not overwhelm themselves with doing more. Because again, like the other two said, some parents are working from home still, and so they're having to maintain a home life, educate all children in the home, and then their child with an IEP. And so I think it would be nice for teachers to let parents know, to meet them where they're at and let them know what is expected and what's feasible, where they're not overwhelming themselves.
Oh, absolutely. All right. Well, that was great, ladies. Thank you. The next set of questions is for the teachers or administrators from the districts. So we'll just go with the first question. What are some steps you've taken to ensure parent participation and engagement during this time? And Laurie McCoy, we'll start with you.
Okay, I'm the special ed director from Durant, and of course our focus has been on communication, and basically we've just tried to think of any possible way we can communicate with parents and make sure we get the information out there. And I think we've mentioned several ways, but we've done all the Facebook and Twitter and website and call outs and personal phone calls and mailing, and we're just really trying to reach out to parents and see what their needs are and try to meet those needs, and not even just the educational needs, but any needs. We're trying to let families in our community know that we're here for them.
And Kylie?
Yes, thank you. I'm Kylie Rios with Piedmont Public Schools, Director of Special Services. And so much of our good fortune is we have a Piedmont focus, and this year's focus has really been relationship building. So we had embedded so much of this into our day-to-day that by having those relationships with parents already, we knew means to communicate with them at their level. Who needed a text message? Who needed an email? Who needed a face-to-face Zoom call, just to relieve them and give them that assurance that we are there for you. This is an individual need, and we are going to respond to you as an individual. And we're just so blessed with teachers who love their students. And the second they got that, go ahead and communicate. They couldn't wait to talk to their parents and give them those assurances and have them themselves too as the educator.
Well, thank you. And I believe you have the educator from Piedmont is here.
My name is Haneen Schwarb. I'm a special education teacher at the Middle School of Piedmont. I think, as my director said, we were very eager as teachers to get the okay to go ahead and contact our caseload parents, and just to help them ease their fear and let them know that you're not alone in this. We are all going through something new. Distance learning is not something we were used to doing. So just to make sure how the kids are feeling about it, to tell them that we miss their kids, and we hope everyone is okay, and just trying to make sure that they have the internet access they needed, are they logged in their Google Classroom codes, they have all this information that's needed. And that was the first email we sent out. As distance learning started after that, I emailed the first day, made sure everyone was on, was there for their classes. At the week, as the first week ended today, we just emailed again and said, how was your week? Is there anything we can help? And just offer help. Some, as Kylie said, we needed to text, some we needed to have a Zoom meeting just to walk them through the component of this new distance learning, and to let them know that this is all about engaging their children, and that we will do our best to make sure that they get the services they needed.
Thank you. And last we have Jerry. Would you like to answer the question? Or is that everybody?
Sure. Yeah, I'm Jerry New, and I'm a special education teacher at Northwest Heights Elementary in Durant. And one of the first things we did, which I thought was a great idea, is we did a survey. We went and we had all these different things that we had to check on to make sure that all these parents knew what what we needed to help them, as far as making sure that, they knew about where to get food and so forth. We checked to see whether or not they had internet access and all those things before we even sat down and really put a whole lot into it. I've done everything from texting, as Piedmont Schools has already talked about, because I knew some of my parents were not easy to get a hold of, and they were probably working from home. And so I just said, hey, this is Miss New. I'm touching base. This is my cell phone number. I just want to see how things are going. When you get a minute, please either call or text me back. And that kind of left it open for them to not be in a rush to touch base, that they got to answer the phone immediately, that they can get a hold of me when they have a minute. And,
well, and that kind of leads right into the next question, Jerry, is how do you kind of envision that ongoing communication to take place?
I honestly think that we have opened up a line of communication with our parents that hopefully we won't break. These parents have called me and said, hey, my son wants to talk to you. Is it okay? I want to show you a video. This is what you told me, don't push, only work short periods of time with the kids. Be as relaxed as you can. Don't force the issue of this whole thing right now of academic. Make it kind of fun. So one of my kiddos, we've been working all year with her spelling her name and recognizing the letters of her name. That parent was like, I'm so excited. And she texted me and she goes, I've got to show you a video. And so she sent me this video of her little girl outside with chalk. She'd written her name in chalk and was spelling her name. and she was doing it correctly. I mean, it was taking her a second or two on a couple of the letters, especially the last three, but she was just so excited to show me that, hey, she's finally got it. And so we'd already had pretty good communication, because as a special ed teacher, especially with most of my kiddos, they're pretty severe. You get to know the parents pretty good, and what works with them, and how to communicate with them. And that's just part of being a teacher anyway. You should communicate with your parents as much as you can.
That's
And
very
so,
true.
yeah, I think this has really opened up a line of communication that I'll be watching these kiddos forever.
Piedmont, do you guys have anything to add to that about ongoing and how you expect that will take place?
I think the most important thing, just to remember to stay flexible and find solutions. We will gonna go through obstacles through this distance learning, things with arises, just to be sure to calm the parents down, calm yourself down too, and just remember that we're gonna be flexible, and we will always be creative and find solutions.
Awesome. So the last thing was, what are some key things you would like parents to take away and remember during this time as they're working with their children?
I'll speak for Piedmont. Our biggest goal was engagement. That was from the tippy top from our superintendent. We were so blessed to have been given the autonomy to decide what engagement meant for our department. And that was such a blessing for us because we realized that meant we could individualize it for every single student. So we just really want our parents to know we are being flexible, and our biggest fight is regression right now, and we don't want it. So that's our chant, that's our cheer, that's our creed every time we meet and we see each other face to face is, yay, we have this amazing opportunity to be creative and collaborate and build relationships, but also fight regression. And how can we do that? And by approaching it with that a multi-tiered level of support, technology, people, we are just hopeful. And that's what I want parents to know, is that we have hope, that we're going to come through this without having a dim light, but a bright light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes. Ms. New, do you have anything to add to that, or Ms. McCoy from Durant about that last question?
All right. As far as key things that I would like the parents to remember during this is that we're a team, we're a family. One of our mottos is one team, one family, that we're a big group, and we I feel really close to my parents now. It's not that I didn't before, but it seems like we're coming together in a crisis, and you know, I just let them know point blank, hey, if you need me for anything, if you just want to talk, you know, hey, give me a call, text me, message me on Facebook, whatever, you know, we'll make this work, because it's not about, you know, you know, me being the teacher alone. You know, I'm there for my kids. Those are my babies, just as they are their babies. And so I'm missing them just as much as they would be missing the kids in a different situation. So I think this is going to open up a whole new line of communication for all of us. And I really want the parents to feel that if they need their teacher, that they can, you know, talk to them and find out more about what they can do for their child themselves too.
Yeah. Well, you guys, thank you so much for taking the questions. Todd, I'm going to give it back to you. That was the last of the questions that I had.
Yeah, I just want to thank our guests again for participating, taking time out of their busy days and schedules. I feel like we're even more busy now than we were before, honestly. And I just hope that people watching this can take some hope and encouragement from all of our panelists as we, you know, all move forward and try to help our students achieve as much as they can and progress as much as they can. So again, in any context and any environment, you know, that's what we want. So again, I just appreciate everybody, and Ellen, thank you for asking the questions for us and guiding our conversation. Thank you.